Hey everyone, it is Thursday and this is the Manly Potsies with the kind of unmanly background. Um, so, looks like I have another nice day to be outside again. It's about 75 degrees, almost no wind, and just fantabulous out here. Real quick recap of my week. Once again, it's been very up and down. I had a couple very, very dizzy days, and I didn't do very much on those days. But the days in between those, I had a few decent days, and I really took advantage of that. I somehow managed to go to the Bare Naked Ladies and Ingrid Michaelson concert up at the Toledo Zoo Amphitheater here. That was a fantastic, fantastic time. I highly recommend seeing Bare Naked Ladies if you ever get a chance and you like that kind of music. They were great entertainers. It was a really good time. And big shout out and thank you to Shannon. Shannon, you're the one that actually turned me on to Ingrid Michaelson in the first place when you used Breakable in one of your videos. I played that video over and over and over again for like 3 days, just listening to the song. I paid attention to your video, of course. But yeah, I listened to that song so much and totally loved it, and then went and looked up all of her other music and loved that. So needless to say, I was the only one of my friends who was singing along with any of the Ingrid Michaelson up there, and it was pretty fun. So I did that, and I also made it to a couple movies and also a couple restaurants with my friends. I went and saw Robin Hood, which I know a lot of people didn't particularly like. It is kind of long and a little bit slow, I guess, but I'm weird like that. I kind of like those historical-ish types of movies. It was interesting. I also saw Iron Man 2, which was probably the most sarcastic movie ever made. It was a really good time. It was a lot of fun. So anyway, as for the questions, they were a bit sparse this week. Andrew, you got cut off before you had a chance to ask a question. And I've noticed in the last couple of videos of yours, they seem to be getting cut off at the end. I'm not entirely sure what could be causing that, or if you're even aware of it, so scope it out if you didn't realize that was happening. Anyway, Dave, you asked, do you like going to sporting events, and who's your favorite team? Like I mentioned in previous videos, I'm not a very sporty person. If my friends are watching something, I'll watch with them and root for whoever they want to win, really. I don't really have a favorite team per se, I guess. I just root for the home team, I guess. Whoever's local or nearest to me. Like if it's college football, I'd be rooting for the BGSU Falcons because that's where I went to college. If it's pro, it'd be the Browns, even though they haven't had the greatest of luck in the last, I don't know, like decade. Basketball to be the Cavs, so whatever. Sorry guys, I really can't talk about sports much unless it's disc golf, so. Frank, you didn't have a question this week. Sorry that you're not feeling well. It seems like all of us have been having kind of up and down funky months. I don't know, so I hope you feel better soon, dude. Joel, you did not have a video for this week, and I assume that's because of your grandma passing last week. Everyone, please keep Joel and his family in your thoughts and prayers. We're all thinking about you, man. So to fill up a little bit of time, since Dave's was the only question that I got, I figured I'd answer a couple of the ladies' questions. So, Kylie, you asked, were you an active person before you had POTS? And without going into too much stuff, I would definitely say that yes, I was an active person quite a bit. I took on probably more than I should have even then. I not only was going to college, but I was doing a part-time job at the same time, sometimes even 2 part-time jobs, as well as doing other projects, some school-related, some academic, and some just goofing around with my friends. I was definitely a very, very, very busy person, and that's taken a lot of getting used to since being ill. The pace of life has definitely slowed down quite a bit, and I've noticed that I still tend to try to take on more than I can actually handle, and sometimes that can be a problem. I think that's kind of part of where friends and family members who don't exactly know what's going on with me as well, they kind of think that I'm being lazy. And, you know, I can't say enough that it's not a matter of being lazy or not. It's when you feel like you barely have enough energy to get out of bed and walk around, yet you go outside and play some disc golf or bike a little bit or do whatever, just go and hang out with your friends, you are climbing Everest every day. So, you know, we've been dealt that card, and I guess the only thing we can do is just keep plugging away at it and do the best we can. So, yeah, but anyway, nice little tangent there. I was definitely an active person before POTS. Gwen, you asked, do we nap during the day or not? And I try to not let myself nap during the day because I've noticed that whenever I do, I have a real hard time falling asleep and staying asleep when it comes to actually going to bed that night. So I try not to nap at all. You know, even though I'm mostly exhausted every day and barely feel like I have enough energy to function, I push myself to stay awake so that I can stay on at least somewhat of a quasi-regular sleep schedule. Yeah, so, seems like there's a lot of coming from me today. I don't know. Anyway, so, since movies are fresh in my mind, I figured that's what today's question would be all about. Or I guess more appropriately, movie theaters. So do you guys find, or do you girls, or whoever wants to answer, do you find that you have any issues with sensory overload when you go to a movie theater? You know, I just went and saw Robin Hood and Iron Man, and so I had a lot to think about while I was there these 2 times. I could pay attention to it, and I noticed that for like the first maybe 20 minutes or so, I felt a little bit overwhelmed by it. There was a lot of sound coming from the speakers. Our theater had the sound turned way up. There's also the fact that the screen is really big and takes up a lot of your field of view, especially when the house lights go down and that's all you can really see. It's almost like having tunnel vision, and everything that you're seeing in front of you is moving around all over the place. So, but after 20 minutes or so, I got used to it, and I think like my brain down-regulated or something, and it was perfectly fine after that. I didn't have much of a problem. Maybe a little dizzy, but so yeah. So do you guys have any issues with sensory overload at movie theaters? So, when I get bored in the springtime, there's a couple of days when the cottonwood trees all around us will drop all of their cotton balls, and that provides a unique experience for me because it's very flammable stuff, and so for a couple of days every spring I can be highly entertained by lighting it all on fire. This is what you do when you're bored and live in the country, and you have a thing for fire.
You may find it down to Georgia, Carolina, up to 20 by the Pickwick, near the country out of Waynesboro. When it's getting late and rainy out in New York City, you hang a Louis off a Fury and you go and grab yourself a cheeseburger at a little Jim diner or a 6-diner. Diner, my shiny, shiny love.
Now that is some really exciting video, isn't it? Oh, I don't know. I guess I'm just easily entertained, but you know, that comes in pretty darn handy, having a chronic illness and not having a whole lot to do most days. Everybody else, I guess, would be bored, but I have a good time, so. Anyway, that's it for this week. Stay tuned for Andrew tomorrow, and don't forget to check out the Teen Potsy Productions channel, and also, of course, the 5 Awesome Potsies. Everyone have a great week, and take care.